Hello, 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 and welcome to chapter 28 of Bookmarked. I am Zoe, your host here today. You are on my channel, and I'm here with my lovely co-hosts.
I'm Hailey from Hailey and Bookland.
And I'm Hannah from A Clockwork Reader.
Yay! Aren't they so pretty? Give them a round of applause, everybody! Yay! Wait, where's my little track? Dang it, sorry. I failed you this time. But what are we all currently reading right now?
Are you going to start?
Well, we're all reading the same thing. Well, not Hannah. She hasn't started yet. But both Hailey and I are currently reading Red, White, and Royal Blue by Casey McQuiston. I think, Hailey, we're on basically the same page.
Yeah,
You're
I'm on page
ahead of me.
157, actually.
You are exactly 10 pages ahead of me. And I'm really liking it so far.
Amazing. I'm also reading Thunderhead by Neil Shusterman. I'm listening to the audiobook, and I have been for a very long time now. Hopefully I'll finish it soon.
And I'm not reading anything, even though I'm supposed to be reading Red, White, and Royal Blue with them, but I didn't, so.
You'll come later. We'll let you know if it's something you should check out later on, because we have very different tastes in contemporaries, but I think you'll like it. I hope so. The chemistry between the two characters, beautiful.
Oh my god, we both did that!
That is how we feel about that. Okay. So what we are talking about today are book signings and book conventions. So first, let's just talk about our own personal history with book conventions and book signings. Let's start with Hailey.
My personal history with signings and conventions is very minimal because I've only been to, I guess I've been to 2 conventions. I've been to Book Expo and BookCon last year, and then I also went to BookNet Fest last year. And as far as signings go, I don't even know. I went to Sasha's signing last year, but I think that was like my first author signing. Because there's nothing really around me. So that's really the only signing I've been to, except I went to Lee Bardugo with you guys. But other than that, there's nothing around me. So
you went to the Angie Thomas event.
Yes. Yeah. I went to Angie Thomas, and then I guess I also went to like a Harper Collins event that had Becky Albertalli, Angie Thomas, and Julie Murphy. So
that's
yes, but I did go to the Angie. Yeah, I went to the Angie Thomas event this past February in Toronto.
Yeah, that's really recent for your first signing and stuff. What about you, Hannah?
I've been to a lot of book signings in my time. The first one I ever went to was Cassandra Clare's book signing for City of Fallen Angels, like 1,000 years ago. I was in 8th grade, I think, when that book came out. And I really, really wanted to go see her. That was the first time I'd ever gone to any book signing. So I was like super excited about it. And it was really fun.
So cute.
I used to draw Mortal Instruments fan art, and I drew this picture of Jace because at the time I was like in love with him, and I had her sign my drawing of Jace. Well, my mom forced me to like get her to sign it because I was too afraid to ask her, so my mom asked her. But yeah, then after that, I think the next signing I went to was another Cassandra Clare signing. And then after BookTube, I started going to way more book signings. And they're all pretty like, for where I live in California, like they're far away from me. So like the closest to me would be like an 1.5-hour drive. So it's not like super easy to get to it. And it's like on a weeknight. So like you have school or work or something. So it's not easy to get there. So I go when I can, or if it's like on a weekend, that's really great. I've been to Victoria Schwab twice. I've been to Stephanie Garber. There are definitely more. I don't remember. I went to Sasha's signing last year because I moderated that. I just went to Sasha's other signing like yesterday. Was it yesterday or the day before?
Yes,
I think the day before yesterday.
Day before yesterday, yes.
Yeah, in Denver. So yeah, I've been to plenty of book signings. And then for book conventions, I've been to BookCon and Book Expo twice. And we're going again this year, so it'll be 3 times. And then I've been to BookNet Fest once, and North Texas Teen Book Festival was just like a few months ago, and that was my first time there, which was super fun.
Oh, fun. Yeah, like Hailey, there weren't a lot of book signings around me, which is odd because I live in a pretty like okay-sized city in Florida. But yeah, so my first one was in 2015, and it was Victoria Aveyard, Red Queen. That was the first one I ever went to, and I was at college at the time, so I drove all the way back. So I drove like 2 hours just to go to that, and ended up not really liking the book, unfortunately. But that was the first one I ever went to, and I have been to Lee Bardugo, and I went to Cassandra Clare. I went to a lot of the ones that I've gone to haven't read the book. So I went to King of Scars, haven't read that yet, and I went to Queen of Air and Darkness, and I have not read that one yet either. But both of those were in Miami, so again, not a lot around me. And I've been to a good portion of book conventions. I've been to BEA. My first one was in 2015 as well. And I went to the one in Chicago, and then I went to one in New York, two in New York, but I didn't go last year. So I haven't gone to Y'all West or Y'all Fest or any of those, but I have been to BookNet Fest in Orlando because it's in Orlando, and I really liked it. So yeah, not too much of a history with book signings, but hopefully we'll have some good tips for you here today. So,
Amazing.
oh my gosh,
whiny good man.
I fed him and everything.
Really He's
it's
really
all
needy.
good. Yeah, no, just my sister got home, so very excited. So we have a few questions on Twitter. Let us know in the chat if you have any more questions. But we're really here to give you advice today because I know that going to a book signing or a book convention for the first time is kind of overwhelming, especially if you're anxious and just interacting with authors who you've read before and are a fan of. It can be very overwhelming. So we're going to try to help you today because I know we've all felt that way. So here is one from Pooja Banga 504. What was the most exciting book signing event you attended?
I guess Lee Bardugo, because she's my favorite. It was
Yeah.
also fun to go with you guys.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I think that one. I enjoyed that.
I agree. That was very exciting because I got to see you guys, and we went all the way to Miami, so it was like an event.
And we listened to Mamma Mia on the whole drive.
Yes.
Really fun. Yeah.
Yes, definitely. Oh goodness.
I would definitely say that's one of my favorite ones for sure. The first Lee Bardugo event I went to was also super fun because it was like the first time I met like BookTube people. But like probably the one I just have the fondest memory of is my very first one, like the Cassandra Clare signing, just because like it was like a big deal to me and I was like 13, so it was special.
Fan art?
I do have it, yeah.
Yes. Amazing. Oh my gosh, I would like to buy it for you for $1 million, and we're gonna put it in the Met. It's gonna be great.
Amazing.
Here's one from Jessica Hope on Twitter. How do you think of something to say when you're getting a book signed? Well, if you haven't read the book, I think you should talk about well, one, if you follow them on Twitter or something and you know what they're interested in, maybe bring that up and say like, oh, like I also love like, or like I love your dog or something if they post a lot of pictures of their dog. Or you can say how excited you are to read the book. You know, you just maybe semi-stalk them on Twitter or Instagram, figure out what they're into, and if not, just the, oh, like, thanks for being here today. I'm excited to read your book.
Thank you for being here today.
Yes. Always go back to Princess Diaries. There you go.
Amazing. I think it's so hard to think of something to say. I'm like the most awkward human in the world, and Hannah can attest to this. When I was at BookCon last year, we met Tahara Mafi. I don't even know what I said. I said something like, if I could speak half as well as you could write, I'd be set for life.
I have live footage of her right after that like signing, her like saying that like in my vlog. Oh my god, it's so funny.
It literally just like black out, and I'm like, okay, you
was
write
with
words.
Cassandra Clare.
Yeah, I can't speak them, so cool. It's great times. Even with Lee Bardugo, I've met her twice now, and I never know what to say. Like, I don't know. I don't even know what I said when I met her last time. I think I
You told
asked
her
if she
about your
remembered
book.
something. Oh, I
Yeah.
did. Yeah.
Yeah, remember? And she gave you,
There we
like, she
go.
talked to you about it. It was, like, so great.
Yes. Yes. Yeah, that
Mm.
You're
was.
not as awkward as you
She's
think
so
you
nice.
are.
No, you
Oh,
aren't.
see, it's
That's a rule of
Tahara
thumb for
Mafi,
like,
everybody, though. A rule of thumb for
Yeah.
everybody. You're not as
You're not
awkward
as awkward as
you
you think you
feel
are.
you are.
Yeah.
yeah, for sure.
For me, like, I mean, I've rarely gone to a signing where I didn't know the author or hadn't read the author's book. Tahara Mafi wasn't one of them because I have read the Shatter Me trilogy, but it was for A Very Large Expanse of Sea. But I just told her, like, I just talked to her about how her being like Iranian has been like a really big, like, significant thing for me, and becoming like being so popular and so seen. And I just told her like how much that's meant to me. And so like I just talked to her about that. But like it's usually an author that I really love that I'll go to their signings. So like I usually just tell them like how much I've loved their book or how much this character meant to me or this story or something like that. So you just, I don't know, for me it's not as difficult to like talk to authors or like think of something to say because I usually like want to talk to them. So yeah, but I would say like you can practice what you want to say to them ahead of time. I think that would be helpful. You can probably just like write down something you want to say to them so like you remember it. That's also like I don't think anyone's gonna think any author's gonna think you're like weird or something if you like wrote them a note. Like even if you don't want to say something, you can like write them a note and like hand it to them too. So like I think those are all good options if you're worried about that.
Definitely. Also, a lot of the time, authors aren't totally silent. They won't just like stare at you.
Yeah, they're
like,
pretty good about like
well.
prompting. Yeah, a lot of like I know Lee Bardugo a lot of the time asks like who your favorite character is or something like that, or like they'll ask if you've read the book or something. So they're pretty good about it. Yeah.
I didn't say anything to when we went to Libra because I'd only read Shadow and Bone at that point, and I'm like, hi, like, oh, thanks for being here for this long because we were like pretty far. There were a lot of people there, and she was just like, oh, thanks for being here. I'm like, yeah, and then I just went on my way. So like, even if you have nothing to say, just be nice to them. I think that definitely like practicing what you're saying and just I think the letter one is a great idea, especially like if you have social anxiety. Just there's so many different options and it feels like a huge like high pressure situation, especially when you're in line and you're walking up and people are talking to them. But this is just an interaction. As also with like practice, you'll get better and yes, everyone gets flustered. It's great.
Yeah.
So here is one from from a lot of people are asking getting books at like book conventions. Like some like tips and tricks for book conventions basically. And for especially for books, do not get every single book that you see. One, if you fly to a book convention and you're flying back, they will check your luggage because they'll think it's a bomb.
Because mine.
They always check mine.
They never check mine.
They never check mine.
Literally never.
I have that Canadian touch. They just know.
Do I look? I just guess I look like somebody who would do that. Okay. That's my. Hold on.
I had so many books last time too.
I look very suspicious.
Yeah, I did too.
Yeah.
I've literally never watched this year. They're gonna check my bag and Hailey's bag, and they won't check yours.
And I will be so panicked because I hate going through security in the States because they act like I'm a criminal.
Yeah,
I just want to go home. Oh God! But literally,
no, it freaks me out every time.
Yeah, what I did last time was I brought my big suitcase and then I had my carry-on, and on the way there, I only packed my stuff in my carry-on and I put it inside my big suitcase, checked that, and then on the way home, I took out my carry-on and it was filled with books. Like literally the entire carry-on was books and they never checked it. Wow. So it was great.
A packing genius.
If you're planning on like getting a lot of books, if you're going to a convention or something like that, that's a way to do it and make sure like you don't overpack is limit yourself to that carry-on, but also bring a bigger like checked bag so then you can.
Yeah, I definitely suggest bringing like an empty or nearly empty like second luggage so that you can just bring the books back. But also I think don't take every book you see.
Yes.
For a number of reasons. For a number of reasons. One, because you know you're not going to read them and someone else can read them. So it's not worth it. And two, because like it's just so much, especially like Book Expo, for example, for anyone who's going to Book Expo for the first time this year.
They just throw them at you.
They will
like
just
you're walking
literally
by
hand
and they're
them
like,
to you.
take this and take this tote bag and take all these things.
Like
and
we
it's
went
nice
to
the first day, but the second day you are putting things away, and then it's so much.
Yeah, like we went to the Fierce Reads party last year, and they gave us like this tote bag, like with 5 or 6 books in it. I only cared about one of those books, and like I just like had all of these books that I did not need nor ask for. So like you'll be like overwhelmed by like just them giving you a lot of books. Or you like the first year I was like, oh my god, there's so much, like I want them, because like what if I want to read it? But I promise, just like go for the ones you really want to read, or one that you hear about, you're like, oh, that sounds really interesting. Just, limit yourself. It'll be a lot easier on your packing situation.
Usually they also will give you like a booklet or something with like signing times and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Sometimes they do just have random ones at booths that they hand out, but usually you can research ahead of time which books will be there. So you can already go in with a list in mind. Like this year, I know I need to get Ninth House. I need it. That's the only arc that I care about at
Literally
BA.
me too.
The only one. So I am going with just that in mind. So if I get any other ones, like that'll be fun, but I am going to make it a priority to only get the ones that I care about. I always feel so guilty after these events because I come back and I'm like, I guess I'll give this to my friend because I just picked this up to be nice and I have no interest in keeping it. But that's the biggest thing. So
I think another good tip is to follow like the authors that you like on their social media and check their social media, because a lot of the time they'll post their like schedules for their arcs or books like being dropped at conventions like that. So like Lee Bardugo again, for example, like posted when she's having her Ninth House arc drop, so like you can know what time it's going to be. So I think that's usually what's most helpful. That's not as helpful for finding like new things. That's the thing I usually struggle with. Like, I know like which authors I care about, like are going to have books there that I want, but like I don't usually know what new stuff is going to be there, like what debut stuff is going to be there that I might be interested in. So for that, I would definitely suggest follow like some publishers on social media as well, and like they'll oftentimes also post what books they're going to have there. Or on their website, they'll post it too.
Yeah, I usually, for that, like finding new debuts and stuff like that, there's lists on Goodreads that are like YA debuts of 2019. So I checked that out. Or even like not debut authors, they have like YA of 2019. But I also will go to publishers' websites and look at their cover reveals for a certain season, because the ones that they usually post about are ones that they're really excited about. So it's easy to see some new titles that way.
Also, for the ones that are very anticipated, you usually need to get tickets beforehand. So like with Ninth House, the ticket drop is exactly at noon, I think, which is when the doors open. And then I think it's 3 hours later that you actually go for the signing to get the arc. So keep that in mind. If there are ones that you're really excited about, know that you usually need to get tickets. So you can't just walk up and be like, I want the arc, thank you. So it's all... I made a Google Calendar for our time at BookNet Fest, and all of the anticipated arcs I'm going to put on the Google Calendar because it's all about time management, especially if you want a lot of anticipated arcs and you want to go to signings and you want to go to panels and things like that. It's all about prioritizing what you want to do at your time. So also, let's just have some general tips for book conventions. Like, what should you bring to a book convention besides wearing comfortable shoes and just comfortable clothes in general?
That's so important, though.
No, I mean that is number one. That's number one.
Yeah.
My feet were screaming last year. I think I have scars on my toes from the blisters and how bad it was. It was brutal. Ask Hannah. We were like walking around the city and I was like pretending I was fine. Like it was very clearly not.
It was Hannah the year before.
Yeah, that was me the year before with Zoe.
She told me.
Like my feet were bleeding the year before, and I was like, Hailey, like your feet might bleed this year, and she was like, I'll be fine, and then they did.
Oh no, this is my year then. Oh no,
so bad. Yeah, it was brutal. So definitely comfy shoes is super important.
Mhm.
I think when interacting with anyone at any book convention, though, something that's important to know is the person on the other side of the interaction probably feels just as awkward and just as anxious
Oh,
as
for
you do.
sure.
Like, interacting with authors and everything, and even interacting with us, I can guarantee we feel just as awkward and anxious as you do. I
What?
promise
I
you.
am calm, cool, and collected
Yeah,
365 days a year. Thank you.
yeah, is she? I don't know.
Just to the Hannah. That's her hair flip.
I love it.
Don't get on her bad side or she will eyelash flip you.
Amazing. But yeah, just know that. So don't go into it and feel like, oh my God, I'm the most awkward person in the universe. Because like you're
Mhm.
totally fine. Guaranteed. It's both ways.
Mhm.
I think my biggest piece of advice is to like not try to not get overwhelmed and feel like you have to get everything like we were talking about.
Mhm.
Just focus on what you're really excited about and accept the fact that you're not going to be able to do everything. So you need to really prioritize.
And also, if you do feel overwhelmed, there are usually some more quiet spaces in the convention center. Even like for BA, which is like huge, there you can go to the bathroom, or there are usually just like some conference rooms on the
There's also
side
the
that you can.
cafeteria area.
Yeah,
Like there's plenty of seating around
Yeah,
there.
there is.
No one's around. And there's
don't
places
push
to sit.
yourself.
Yeah.
If you're feeling overwhelmed, take a moment to just breathe and collect yourself. Something that I like to do when I'm overwhelmed, I like to like organize my purse because like everything becomes a mess and I feel much more at ease when things are organized. Or just like text somebody and just take some time. There are so many people at book conventions and even book signings that it's completely understandable if you start to feel a little bit overwhelmed. So take it as much as you can and then regroup. Also, definitely, if you can, come with a friend or a family member because it's so much easier to handle when you're with somebody, especially if you're with, three anxious people like us. We're going to be together because we are more sensitive to like when somebody is feeling anxious and we're more like willing to take a break. So be with somebody who understands what you're going through or someone you're really close with. It's just strength in numbers all the time.
Liv is here,
Oh,
who is going to be on a
hi.
panel at BookCon.
Yay!
We're so excited for
Stories for
her.
Coffee,
Yeah,
our celebrity.
we love. So definitely go to her panel.
Mhm.
It's
It's
gonna be great.
future of the online book community.
I
Is
think
that?
so, yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. I don't
I
know
should
when it
look
is.
on my calendar because I have her panel on the calendar.
Yeah, so we're gonna be there. Amazing. So
Actually,
if you're going to BookCon, you can actually check out what panels there are ahead
mhm.
of time. Panels are a really fun way. Oh, it's on Sunday, 11:15 to 11:50.
At downtown stage, I just looked on my calendar.
Beauty. Beauty. So the panels are really fun. There's a Booksplosion panel. Then
There's
there's
Hannah's panel.
yeah, there's Hannah's panel.
Hannah's panel. Hannah's the only one on the
The only
panel.
one on it. She is on the BookTube reading between the hype on the choice stage at 3 to 3:45 p.m. on Sunday. And there's also a BookTube meetup at 4 at like the very end of the day on Sunday, which is in room 1E07. Again, look on the
Yeah.
the BookCon website. It's kind of hard to navigate, not like to be honest, but there are links on Hannah's Twitter and everybody who's on a panel, their Twitters.
Yeah.
That's where I found things because I'm going to support everybody.
Yeah,
I'm
so
so excited.
BookCon has like the panels and the meetups. We never really explained the difference between Book Expo and BookCon.
Oh, let's do that now. Would you be so kind, Hailey?
Sure, I'll try. So Book Expo happens first. This is happening in less than 2 weeks. It's like 12 days or something like that.
Mhm.
But Book Expo happens first, and that one you need a badge to get into.
It's
You
Wednesday
need
the
like
29th to Friday the 31st is BEA or Book Expo. And then Saturday and Sunday, the 1st and 2nd of June, are BookCon. Just
yeah.
to clarify.
So Book Expo is more like the industry side of things. It's more the businessy side. So that wouldn't be something that's really open to the public, I don't believe.
Mhm.
No, it's
No.
for bloggers and
Yeah.
booksellers
So
and
like yes.
Publishers.
So like
publishers.
anyone who basically has an influence can
I
hear
hate
about
that
new
word.
titles and like figure out. Well, I'm just saying, like, it's
I know.
booksellers too. I'm not saying like we're influencers, we're
Ugh.
influential.
Gag
Oh, I
me
should
with
have
a
done that.
spoon.
So terrible. But then there is also BookCon, and BookCon is open to
Mhm.
anyone, so you guys can go. We're all gonna be there. We don't have an event planned, but hopefully one year,
We are the event.
eventually. Wow, there's a real woo.
I'm an influencer.
Amazing. But we're going to be around at BookCon and Book Expo, and
Mhm.
you guys can feel free to come up to us and say hi. I've seen some people
Mhm.
asking about it. You guys can definitely come and say
Influenza.
hi.
I am influenza.
Influenza.
I am an online influenza.
Amazing. Oh, love it. But yeah,
But
we'll be there.
something that other people are asking about is like going up to people who like you follow online, or going up to authors or people that you like up, like I don't know. That I feel like that sounds weird. But like coming up to us during BookCon, definitely not everybody is okay with physical contact. I love hugs just personally, but again, like be conscious of other people's boundaries and like don't come up and attack them with a hug. Definitely say like, "Oh, can I hug you?" or like, "Hi" from a distance. And then even if you're not okay with hugs, like definitely like everybody, let's just respect each other. But I think everybody, if they're on the show floor, they're totally fine with people coming up to them and saying hi. It's such a great thing, like to see all
Yeah.
of you in person. It's so beautiful. But sometimes people have somewhere to go. So if they look like they're on a mission, don't follow them. Again, it's all about
I guess just
respecting
be
other people.
mindful. Like if someone's
Yeah.
in the bathroom, don't say hi to them, you know?
Yeah.
Don't like
That's
look in
time for
between like the
me.
cracks on the side.
Oh my god, could you
That's not
imagine?
I don't know why I just said that. I gave somebody an idea. I'm an online influenza. Come catch me in the bathroom.
Wow. But we were talking about letters before. Some of my
Oh
favorite
yeah.
interactions with people is when they've given me letters and I've been able to like go back home and read them, and I keep them all the time. I still have all of them. So if there's something that you really want to say to someone and like you don't really feel comfortable or confident enough to say it in person, then definitely you can give someone a letter. Like I think that's absolutely awesome and amazing, and I really love it when that happens. I saw some people asking about pictures too. I'm fine with like pictures. I think we're all fine with pictures. It's really just casual. Like
I'm not
we
gonna promise
are
a
your
good picture, but
friends.
I'll take a
No,
picture.
we can do it. But it's just like friends, you know?
Yeah. So definitely, I think it's all about gauging the situation as it
Yeah.
comes. Not everyone will be okay with hugs, and one person might not be okay with hugs all the time. So just gauge the situation, but everybody's there to have a good time, and I'm excited to see everybody. But again, letters are a great idea. I think that's something that I'm gonna make letters for you too. My favorite online influencers.
Amazing.
I will say one thing with letters. I really, really love whenever people like leave their social media handles in the letters so that I can like DM you or something afterwards. That always means like a lot. So I can like, you know, at least in some way give back to you. So if this is not any of us asking for letters.
Oh yeah, no, that sounds weird.
But like I'm just saying, like if that is something that you were planning on doing, do include your social media if you want to, obviously, so that I can say thank you if I don't get
So
to
it's
see you
not a
again.
one-way interaction. It's not just like we read it and we're like, nice. But like we want to talk back to you. We want to write you a letter back. Yeah.
I want everyone to write me a 5-paragraph essay, 3-point
with
pieces.
MLA citations.
MLA.
And footnotes. If you're not including footnotes, why even bother?
I will mark them. I will send you your grades after.
Also, some people do bring gifts to these, and you don't have to at all. I feel like your presence, that's totally good enough. That's all we can ask. And like honestly, like it's overwhelming for everybody. So just let's all breathe. Come on.
Oh, I hate this so
Stop.
much.
You don't love breathing?
No.
You're gonna catch the online influence.
Oh my god.
I'm sorry. It's been a long day. Okay, so we have more. Is there anything else that you should bring to
Snacks.
snacks?
Yes,
Definitely.
snacks, water, comfortable
Mhm.
shoes, a bag that's big enough to carry a second pair of shoes if you plan on taking
And books.
pictures in
And
one,
books that
and
you
books.
are, yeah.
Yeah, a tote bag. But you'll
Yeah.
probably get a tote bag if you go to one of those
Mhm.
conventions. Like if you're going to Book Expo, don't bring a tote bag. You'll get like 50. I'm not kidding. But like bring a bag so you can carry some like extra stuff, like a camera if you vlog or something like that. Just something that has some space. And snacks and water for sure. They sell them there too, so like you can definitely buy something if you need it. But it's just best to like bring your own stuff.
Mhm.
And like I don't know, any like pain medication, like if you need like Tylenol, Advil,
Mhm.
something like that. Any other
Charger, hair
medication.
ties.
Yeah, charger and hair ties for sure. I say bring hand sanitizer because you like touch a bunch of stuff and I like need hand sanitizer.
Mhm.
And just like have a bag full of like your essentials and you'll be good. And as long as you know like where you need to be at like this hour to get this book, then you're fine. Just go
Mhm.
do what you need to do, go get it, and then chill for a bit, and then go get whatever else you need, and then chill for a bit. It can be overwhelming, but it's also pretty fun once you like
Mhm.
get into like a flow of
Mhm.
it.
Definitely.
Like walking in there is just like a
Yeah.
shock to the system,
Sure.
but it's so much fun. Like I'm just trying to prepare everybody for the fun you're gonna have. Yeah.
Oh my god. Amazing.
Okay. Oh, I like this one from Khalifa_Rawai. Do you have any books that you went to a book signing for but still haven't read yet? Cough, Zoe, cough. Well, you got me. We have the ones I talked about earlier, which is Queen of Air and Darkness by Cassandra Clare and King of Scars by Leigh Bardugo. Those are the most recent ones. I think that's the only ones I have on my shelf right now because I don't have a lot of the arcs that I got because I didn't go last year to BEA. So what about you?
I have a very large expanse of sea by Tahir Mafi, which is just the arc of that one that I have signed, but I still haven't read. And I know there's definitely more. I have do I have? No, I don't have Vengeful signed. Never mind. I don't know. I don't have everything here, but I'm sure there's at least one more. But again, like I said, I usually just go to signings for books that I have like read and really love. So for the most part, I think I've read them.
I don't have any.
None?
I mean, I've been to like 3 signings where they actually sign it in front of me. King of Scars.
Oh yeah, you already read that. Yeah.
Zenith, and then A Very Large Expanse of Sea. She signed that one. And then I've read The Hate You Give, and I've read Becky Albertalli, and I haven't read all of Julie Murphy's. I guess Ramona Blue. I didn't read that one. I think I unhauled it.
Oh, I've heard good things about that. Oh no.
I've heard mixed things.
Oh.
So I stayed away.
From Clara Suitors, what is the best way to find book signings? I definitely find a lot of them on Twitter. I think because I have some friends who live in Florida as well and are, well, who'd have thought? I have friends who live in my state, but usually they will retweet things or I'll just find things in general. Also, you can just Google like signings in wherever you live and those will usually come up. But usually the ones that I go to or the ones that I have been to, most of them have been in the last year, but they are from people that I already follow on Twitter. So I see when they post like their tour dates, I can see if they're coming to Florida at all. So a lot of it is just social media. I don't know if there's like one besides like Google. I don't know if there's one place that you can go to.
I think the best thing to do is follow your favorite authors, and they always post when they have events.
That's my number one suggestion too. Follow your favorite authors so that you know, because they'll always post about a tour or something. And then the other suggestion I have is if there are bookstores around you that you know usually have book signings, follow them on social media too, or check their website. If you check like their website, like for example, Tattered Cover Bookstore in Denver does a lot of book signings. So I can check their website for like months in advance and see like who's going to be coming to do a signing here. So I think following the bookstores and following the authors are the best ways to just find book signings.
Here's one from Maddie Bachrock. How do you avoid spoilers at book cons? Usually it's from the people who attend the book conventions who, like, if you are to get spoiled, it's those people that you have to be wary of, just like the other people there. But it won't be like the author or the publisher or anyone who will spoil people. So I haven't been spoiled unless I wanted to be spoiled. That's the only time I've been spoiled. But it's like, it might be someone who's like passing by and is like talking about Harry Potter or something. But I don't think that, maybe if you go to, no, even if you go to like a panel of one of your favorite authors, they will usually try to steer clear of spoilers. So I don't think that's something you really have to be afraid of.
Yeah, I think that's more of a thing at book signings, maybe for like series.
Yeah.
Third book in the series, you probably maybe want to have read a couple. Like Zoe was a little confused. At the Leigh Bardugo signing.
Every 2 seconds, I was covering my ears like for Leigh Bardugo.
But yeah, I don't think at like BookCon there will be anything that will spoil you. Like I remember, was it last year that Lord of Shadows came out? Was that when it was? I think it was that year.
The year
I don't remember.
I know it was the year before because you and Kat were talking about it, and
that's what I was going to say. Kat and I had already read it, so we were talking about it, and then you hadn't read it yet, right, Zoe?
No, so I ran away.
Yeah, so we were like trying to whisper in the back while Zoe's trying to like plug her ears as we walk down Times Square. But yeah, nobody, like the convention won't spoil you for stuff.
No. Yeah. So here is one from. None of us have been to any non-book conventions, right?
No.
No, me either. Okay, just making sure. So sorry we cannot answer that, Maya. Here's one from Lily Blossom. Are book conventions really crowded, as me and my friend would go together and we can get claustrophobic sometimes? Honestly, yes. Well, depends on the book convention. Definitely BookCon is very crowded because it's the biggest one in America. But if you go to smaller ones like North Texas Teen Book Festival,
so crowded. It's worse.
Crowded. Oh, well, I thought it was like smaller.
3,000 something students there. Okay. It was a lot. The only reason I wasn't overwhelmed is because I was like in the green room area the whole time, but you couldn't like walk around. That one, in my opinion, was worse than BookCon is because the space is also smaller. But BookCon is definitely crowded. But the thing that I think is good about it is that there are like spaces where it's pretty empty, so you can just sit around if you can't be in the big crowd for too long.
The bigger publishers, they will have like blocks where their booths are set up. So there are usually like bean bags or something at like the Penguin Random House booth or something like that you can get away from a little bit. Yeah. I think there was like an Epic Reads area too that was kind of like more of a chill space. I think Booknet Fest in Orlando, that is a much smaller event, and it's much less claustrophobic, much less crowded. So it all depends where you're going, but I think in any situation they will be mindful of like having space. They don't want there to be stampedes or anything. So I think
I will say like it's not like so crowded to the point where like you can't walk around.
Yeah.
There's plenty of space to move around. Like you're not going to be bumping shoulders with people all the time. It's not like that. The only time I would say like it's that crowded or congested in one area is like the line to get into BookCon is always like a lot and super overwhelming. Like when it first opens. So if you come like a little bit after they open, you should be fine. And then when like at Book Expo, signing lines are sometimes like, I haven't seen the signing lines at BookCon because I've never gone to like any of the signings at BookCon. But the signing lines at Book Expo, I'd assume they're somewhat similar. BookCon's probably more crowded. The lines can get a bit crowded just because everyone, especially if it's not ticketed, so everyone's just kind of like crowding around and waiting. That can get a little bit overwhelming for sure. But again, like I said, there's plenty of space around, so you'll have an escape.
A lot of people are asking for the cost of BookCon tickets. I will include the link in the chat right now.
It's like $35, right?
It says that the weekend ones are sold out right now, so I don't know how much it would be for both days. But for Saturday, it says it's $35 adult online, $45 if you try to buy it on site. And if it's for kids, it's $10 each day. I'm not sure what it would be for the entire weekend, but definitely less than $100. But you also get books and things like that. That doesn't include accommodation or food or anything. So if you don't live in New York City, then
Accommodation is definitely something to take into account because it's
yes,
very expensive.
definitely we had to find a hotel. It
Yeah.
was a lot of money. It was too
Yeah.
much money. Oh goodness. Oh goodness. But I don't know how much the weekend would be. So I am sorry about that. Because we got press tickets for BA, that BookCon was included. So I cannot tell you. So Rory Stutzman asked, can you get complete books, not ARCs, at the cons? You can't get like hardcover books there unless you buy them, because there are places that you can buy finished books, but usually no, you will get like the paperback ARCs, but they're basically the same as completed books. Usually they don't change that much in editing.
At BookCon, I think there are fewer ARCs that are given out. Like Book Expo is very much just for the publishing side of things. So it's just like the industry side of things. So there are just a ton of ARCs, and I don't even know if you can buy books at Book Expo. I think there's a section where you can buy books.
Yeah. They have a new section this year with merch and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. But BookCon, you can definitely buy books. They sell them at almost every booth, I think. But you can get fewer ARCs. I just think they have like less ARC drops and stuff at BookCon than they do at Book Expo.
And you don't have to pay for ARCs, by the way.
No,
that is included in your ticket. Some people were asking.
Yeah, and
I think someone buy ARCs.
I think someone was also asking about like the tickets for the like signing lines and stuff. You don't have to buy tickets for signing lines. Those are like, you just wait in line and they give you a ticket because they can only give a certain amount. So those are not things you buy. You just buy the ticket for BookCon or whatever convention.
You don't have to pay for signing either, like at the signing booths.
Yeah, no.
You don't. Okay,
that's what. At least I don't think so.
I don't believe.
Don't at Book Expo. I don't know if BookCon does it differently. I don't think they do.
Not.
I really don't think they do. I think it's just the.
Oh, ARC is advanced reader copy, by the way. Sorry, we're just throwing around that term everywhere. McKenna Alcock asks, do you prefer BookCon or Book Expo? They're very different.
So different.
Yeah, they're very, very different.
And I don't feel like we have a good like gauge of BookCon in terms of.
We hide away in the green room.
Well, yeah, because every year we've been there as like guests or press. Our experience is different. Like we don't go out on the show floor as often at BookCon because it's more crowded and we're not trying to get books while we're there. And we're just usually there for panels or to support friends and stuff like that and just to hang out. But Book Expo is like, we're there to like get books.
We are business professionals.
Yeah, like network and stuff like that. So they're two very different events.
What about you, Hailey? What do you prefer?
I don't know. I agree. Like we don't really have a good gauge of BookCon because we experience it differently than everyone else does. So it's kind of hard to say.
Yeah, like I've never been to BookCon as just like an attendee.
Yeah.
So it's different.
I like the panels that are at BookCon more than the panels that are BA because they're more focused on like the community of like book lovers. And also Hannah's on a panel, so obviously I like that more. But definitely like the panels that are at BA are much more professional based, which makes sense because it's more focused on the business side of books. But it's just, I feel like the vibe of BookCon is much more like excited and yes, I am a business professional.
Yeah, Book Expo is professional. BookCon is like more community based.
Yeah,
that's like the biggest difference.
Yeah. What are some people are asking about book events around like the world? I don't know too much about them. Are there any in Canada?
I got an email about a Montreal Book Fest, but it's happening May 26th. So can't exactly go to that, but I know there's that. There's not a lot, at least like that I know of. There's not really a lot. I think there was a YA Fest in Toronto recently, but I don't know how big it is or anything. I don't know.
I know in
the UK there's YALC, is that what it's called?
Yeah, YALC. I know that's in London. I didn't get to go, but it's part of Comic-Con, I think. Oh, someone just said in the chat, it's part of Comic-Con. I was right. Yay. But I'm not sure about around. Oh yeah, there's the huge one in Germany, right? I think so. Also, Patricia B. There are 2 big book fairs in Germany, Frankfurt and Leipzig. That's a fun word. I like that. But there are definitely some all around the world.
There are definitely way more than I feel like we think there are.
Yeah,
we don't hear about them as often. Like I just found out this year or like last year that there's a Bay Area book festival like near where I was in California. So like there's a festival there too, and I didn't even know about it until I like was going to school up there. So yeah, there are plenty more. I think if you just like search book festivals or book conventions in your area, then you'll definitely be able to find some.
Yeah. So, who are you most excited to see at BA/BookCon? Besides me, because obviously. And besides each other. But, like, you're a person in the book community / author. Well, how about we have a person in the book community and an author? Who are you most excited to see? Hopefully this doesn't start any fights.
What do you think this is? The beauty community?
I know.
I'm most excited to see James Charles.
Oh, let's not start that here. Oh, goodness. I'm really excited to see Liv because I've never met her. She went last year. And
I've never met her. I just realized that.
No, I've talked to her on Twitter. I've talked to so many people on Twitter, and I feel like I know them, but then it's going to be so weird seeing them in person. But I am excited.
When we met for the first time.
Yeah, wait. Yeah, Hailey and I met for the first time in September at BookNet Fest. So that's another great reason to go to book conventions or book signings or any book event is that you can meet so many people who, like, if you've talked to book friends online, you can finally see them in person. Or if you just go, like, usually you can assume that they like to read. So that's already something you have in common. So it's so much easier to make friends. And again, with the buddy system, I feel like you naturally like hold on to another person when you're at these events, or at least I do, because I am like very overwhelmed. So I'm like, I am not like leaving you. We are bonded at the hip this entire weekend. So I think that is such a great idea. But the author I'm most excited to meet, who's going to be there?
I don't even know.
Lee Bardugo, because I'm gonna get 9th house. And maybe I will redeem myself because I've read 3 of her books now, so I'll be able to say more than hi.
Amazing. I'm most excited to see Lee Bardugo again because I think she's the absolute sweetest. I love her so much.
John Cena, he's gonna be there. Yeah. I'm gonna tackle him.
Oh my god. I don't know if like I don't think he's doing a signing or anything, but I think it would be really, really cool to see John Green because he's like one of the authors that sparked my love of reading. So I think that would be like a real like
he's doing a panel at BookCon.
For
Looking for Alaska. So he might be around. Maybe it'll be like last year when we were sitting in the green room and
that's what I think is gonna happen, and I'll just be like
his face was just like at the table next to us, and I was like, why are you here?
What is his name? The guy,
Penn
Badgley.
Penn Badgley. There we go.
The best name ever. Oh gosh.
I don't have a book community person.
Oh my gosh, I'm excited to see
everyone.
Yeah, I want to see Chelsea from Chelsea Doling Reads. I want to see basically everybody.
Yeah, I don't even know who's going.
I just talk to these people so much, and then I'm like, oh my gosh, like I'm gonna see you in the flesh. Oh, I think Madeline from Noveling's gonna be there too. So many people.
There's literally going to be so many people.
Yeah. I'm excited to see like all of our friends and like see new friends who I haven't gotten to meet in person yet. So I don't have a specific person I'm excited to see, but in terms of like an author, hopefully Lee Bardugo again. I think Victoria Schwab's going to be there. I feel like they're the only ones I'm always just like, I have to see you. Erin Morgenstern's going to be there.
Oh yeah. Like, wait, are there arcs?
There's a but like we're not going to that because that's at BookCon.
I'll be there. Okay, you know what we're gonna do
something else. So like I'm gonna be at something else like 30 minutes before that signing starts, so I can't even get tickets.
No, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna do the Jenna Marbles thing. I'm gonna give myself a new face, and then I'm just gonna go around. No one's gonna be able to find me. It's gonna be great. You won't, I won't stand out with this weird face.
I don't think I'll get to see her at the at that signing, but I might get to see her before then. So we'll see, or after. I think it's after. But yeah, I'm excited. I've
That's
never met her,
insane.
and I've always wanted to meet her.
Wait, you haven't met her? That's so
No,
strange.
I've never met her.
In my mind, you've met every author
Why?
because you've met way more than I have. Oh goodness. So I think, do we have any last minute tips and tricks or anything? I feel like
Drink water,
definitely
wear
a
shoes.
big part of it is just to listen to yourself and be like acknowledge what's happening around you. So definitely a lot of self-care. If you're feeling overwhelmed, like peace out of there, go find a safe space, and also like make sure that
Oh,
you are respecting other people's boundaries.
I
So
will
just like
also,
life.
yeah, true. I will also say one other tip, it's not like while you're at the convention, but like afterwards, like don't push yourself too hard. Like don't stay out too late if you don't want to. Like go back to the hotel, like do a face mask and go to sleep. Like that's one thing that we really need to do this year. I really need to do this year. Like not stay out until like 11 or whatever and get back to the hotel room super late and go to bed at 1. I want to go to sleep so I can be like awake and alive the next day.
Yeah,
So we're
I
probably gonna
always go
talk
like
till
I
12.
know we're gonna talk until 1 a.m. It's inevitable, but still.
Oh my god.
I'm always so excited at book conventions, and then like I always get sick. I always get sick because I always like stay up until whenever, and then I wake up super early to get ready and like look presentable, that by the time I'm home, I'm totally drained. I can't do anything for like 2 days afterwards, and then I get sick. So this year it's gonna be self-care every day. So many face masks.
I
They're
got
great.
pre-sick, so I like
Yeah.
checked it off the
You
list.
checked it off. You knocked it off.
There.
You're always ahead of the game.
Honestly, one step ahead. It's gonna be great.
Hannah and I are going to learn a BTS dance. Well, we've already learned like
You
half
already
of
started?
one. Boy with Love
have you
too.
mentioned that like I got you obsessed with BTS
Oh
yet?
yes.
Because I did. You're
We're
welcome.
trying to get Hailey on it, but the thing is you can't tell her to do anything because she's just so rebellious. So I tell her not to do things, and she's listened to me when I tell her not to do things. So I found the hack.
I'm just trying. It has to seem like my own idea.
Yeah,
So
that's why I tell you not to do things.
I understand my own psychology.
And now I understand you better than you know yourself. I can trick you. But yes, I love BTS now. It's been only a couple of days, but
Feels like it's been months.
V is my man. We're learning a dance. It's gonna be great. You didn't need this, but here you go. We gave it to you. So I think that's. Oh, Edward is right there.
Edward is
I put him right there, so you wouldn't have to ask me about him.
Why do you acknowledge
God.
it? Just let him
Because I
die.
give the people what they want, and I thought this time I put him right there.
Let him die.
So
Let him assume his real, true identity as
as
Batman.
Batman.
Move on.
Yes. So, we have our booktuber of the week. Our booktuber of the week is Karina from Bookish Babbles. Her link, I just hit myself in the head. Her link is down below in the description. Definitely check her out. I've been following her for quite a few months, and I follow her on Twitter. Just an overall quality person. So excited and so bubbly and just a lot of fun. So her link is down below. Check her out. Is she going to be at BEA? I don't know.
I don't know who's going.
I just assume everyone's going because so many people have said they're going, but I hope so because I really want to meet her in person. So hopefully I can do that one day. But yeah, thanks for watching our book signing, book convention episode. Hopefully part of this was helpful and we didn't just say things that you already know, which I think we might have done. But
I think it was helpful.
Well. But yeah, any last words?
No. We'll be on my channel next week.
We should mention the book that we're reading for this month is Clockwork Angel for our book club. And our live show is going to be on my channel on the 8th, 9th of June. I always forget which one.
The 9th.
The 9th of June at
3 p.m.
3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Great. And yeah, again, you do not have to read the other Mortal Instruments books in order to read it. You can read that one first. And yeah, we'll see you there for that. But yeah.
Soon we will also have on our Twitter a poll to pick June's book of the month because we definitely want everyone to have some input in what we read. So that will go up on our Twitter soon. Again, our links are down below. I think they're, oh no. they aren't down below. I'll put it down below after this, but it's Bookmarked Club on Instagram and Twitter if you want to follow us. That's where we do all of our polls and everything. And yeah, so just in general, there you go. Hope you're having a great day. Hey, okay, bye guys. I'm gonna go undercover now. This is how I'm going on the show floor. No one will be able to find me. And I'll get your Anne Morgenstern arc.
Thank you.
I give you my word.